this part without feeling bad. And in fact, we actually suggest if you haven't played Mass 1, by all means go ahead, but you don't need to. Feel free to come on in, start with Mass Effect 2. We've made a lot of improvements that you're going to just like overall, and we don't want you to have to start with an earlier game just so that you can play the second one. All right. So, Zelaradren. Which new implemented feature in Mass Effect 2 is my favorite? All right. My favorite new one, being the story guy that I am, is definitely the interrupt. It allows you to do a whole lot more with conversations, and it allowed us a whole new opportunity to tell stories in a slightly different way and make the acting feel a little bit more natural. That's just my own personal side, but that's because I dealt with those guys a lot.
So my favorite feature would be our shared power cooldown system. So in Mass Effect 1, you had a whole bunch of powers. Each of them had their own cooldown. So what would tend to happen is at the start of a fight, you'd use everything. It doesn't matter what it is. Kitchen sink, throw it at them. And then you would be constantly checking your power wheel. Oh, can I use this power yet? Can I use this power yet? We wanted people to be able to use powers continually throughout combat. And we wanted the choice to matter. So you were using the right power, not just spamming every power you have. With the shared power cooldown system now, you can pick the right power for the situation, use it, and then get right back into using powers almost immediately. Now, this was a Vanguard playthrough, and I was focusing a lot on using guns, but if I'd been playing an Adept, I would have been throwing guys and pulling them, and I would have been using powers like constantly. And that's something that I really wanted out of playing an Adept or another power using class.
Absolutely. All right, let's get on to the next one. So, Seth Steiner. I love the new customization. My question is, casual clothes, is it possible to wear them outside of the Normandy, like in bars or the Citadel? Absolutely. Certain hubs and certain areas of the game, we will throw you in there with your casual clothes on. I'm not going to go into any more detail because it is totally a spoiler, but you'll find a bunch of areas that you'll be able to do that. All right, let's grab the next one. By the way, while I'm waiting for another one, I just wanted to say thank you for everybody that actually came out and took a look. The response has been incredible. When I stopped looking, it was well over 1,000 people in there. It's awesome. And a big thanks to everybody at Xfire who's trying to moderate and keep all these questions flowing. It's a heck of a job. If you're looking at the various chat windows right now, it is just crazy.
Yeah, and while we're at it, I just want to thank everybody who pre-ordered the game and everybody who's going to purchase the game, because we're the developers, and when you guys put down money for our game, then that lets us know that we did a good job, and that's what we're really trying to do. So.
And it puts food on our table, which is
great. Being able to use is nice.
Yeah, it is good. All right, next question here is from Stinky Armpit. I didn't think I smelled that bad. Oof. So bad that I'm actually asking my own questions. All right, I heard you could buy items for your cabin in the New Normandy, such as fish or model ships. How does this work, and will I have to feed the aquatic buddies to keep them alive? Yes, you do. So, like anything in the Mass universe, we wanted to kind of give you more access to new and fun things, even if they don't have the biggest impact. There's still going to be a little bit of impact. So you're through your travels, you're going to find fish, you're going to find models. On a number of other customizations, not only for your cabin, but for the whole ship.
Yep. If you go back and look at the video stream from when we were in the cabin, you can actually see a bunch of model ships that were in a glass case in Shepard's cabin. And you can find new model ships and buy new model ships as you play.
Absolutely. And there's other items, too, that you're going to pick up that won't actually have a direct, necessarily, combat experience, but will actually have more of a story experience as well. And as far as the fish go, yep, you had better feed your fish, or at least find somebody to feed your fish for you. Otherwise, they're going to die. So, all right. So, Wind and Rain, can you explain the icons that are changing at the bottom of the screen during combat? They seem to relate to your teammates' powers, shields, and etc. All right. So this is a pretty good one. So one of the new changes that we wanted to make with the GUI was have more of a, I don't want to say minimalist, but a kind of a negative GUI, where as long as you don't see anything on the screen, everything's all good. So in this case, as an example, and I'm just going to move the cursor around here so that you can kind of get a high contrast look. You'll see your reticle in the center of the screen, and Miranda and Jacob's faces on the bottom. Now, Christina, if you could actually just fire off power. So in this case, let's just use one.
Why not use hotkeys?
All right. So in this case, Shepard used the power, and you can see that on around the reticle there's those concentric circles that are closing in on each other. That's actually tracking your cooldown. So as that circle closes, the power becomes cool, and then as soon as it goes away, the power's ready to roll. Boom. It's a very similar concept for Miranda and Jacob. Unfortunately, because there's no enemies around, I don't want to. Or can we actually?
I think we can.
Here he goes.
Yeah, maybe you have, yep, there you go. So you see under Miranda's name there, or under Miranda's face rather, there's a white bar. That bar indicates that her powers are cooling, and that bar will slowly fade away. And as soon as it fades away, it's also showing her cooldown. Now, next to the characters as well, there's 2 pie shapes. Those pie shapes define how your shields and health, armor, depending on which character you're using, are doing. So when it's white, that means that they've taken a little bit of damage, they're still in the shields. When it's red, it delineates that they've actually taken health damage and that they had better get into cover or they're in trouble.
Yeah, but like the situation right now where you don't see shields, you don't see health, that means everything's good. So.
Exactly. And then, of course, there was the blue bar around the top. That shows your health and your shields. So as those move towards the left, then your shields and health go away. Right.
It's a lot easier to explain during combat where you can actually see people getting hurt. So if you go back and watch the stream again and watch, you'll see how it all corresponds.
By the way,
especially when I'm doing my frantic charges in there and getting owned.
Absolutely, you'll see it a little bit more. By the way, you'll also the streams will be available as soon as we're done here, so or very, very soon thereafter. All right, Randall, let's grab the next one. Death proof. Will there be critical shots in the game, such as headshots that makes the sniper requires a little bit more skill than shooting the enemies in the foot until he dies? Absolutely. So we have location-based damage. It's not just headshots. For example, you'll see mechs where you can blow their limbs off, their heads off, and it changes the way that they react to you. I mean, I'll let Christina talk a little bit more about it.
Yeah. So we definitely have 2 location-based systems, as Jesse was saying. Location-based damage, which is our like technobabble term for headshots. Essentially, when you shoot someone in the head with anything, you're going to do more damage. But you can actually get upgrades for some weapons to improve it. Like for example, my Shepherd right now has this visor on, and that actually gives a 10% headshot damage bonus. So I do an extra 10% damage with any weapon when I shoot someone in the head. You can also research an upgrade for the sniper rifle to make it do even more headshot damage. So there are ways for you to customize that further. And as Jesse was saying, there's more than just headshots in the game. There's certain enemies that you can actually blow off certain limbs by shooting them correctly. So for the precise shooter, there definitely are rewards out there if you want to shoot for those weak points.
Absolutely. All right. Randall, let's fire up another one.
Okay, I think I should review it so I start giving away prizes.
All right. So this next question will be our last one, and we're going to start giving away prizes after that. Okay. Elko1138. Will gambling minigames come back? I don't want to talk about the specifics of some of the in-level minigames that we have. I will, however, say that we do have minigames that are outside of just the 2 that I've shown now, and many of them will come with a risk-reward type scenario. So look out on Tuchanka as one of the examples of some of the more interesting minigames. Mm-hmm. All right. So with that, we're going to move over to some of the prizes. Randall's just going to kind of hook me up with a list of the names and who's won what here. And I will kind of show off the items again. Do we want to answer another question while we're getting that list?
Yeah, a couple more questions.
Do you want me just to pull it out of the admin? Okay. So...
Jesse's going to pick a couple questions.
All right. Grim Parrot asks, could you clarify the differences between PC and the Xbox 360 versions of the game? That's actually a great one. So in the original Mass Effect, we actually developed the Xbox 360 version first, and then with help from Demiurge, we actually ported it to PC later, and as you notice, it came out sometime later. This time around, we actually developed both internally at the same time, using the same code base and the same level. So actually the experience itself is a lot more unified. We also got the opportunity of actually making sure that the